Everywhere post few hours ago as Odumeje finally stormed Finland convention. Odumeje stormed Finland convention for closing prayer. Biafrans were actually surprised with what Odumeje said in course of the prayer that he was making for the Finland convention and all of that, just for the convention to close, because today marks the last day of the convention. Now Odumeje said this and a lot of Biafrans were very terrified. They were scared because Odumeje finally come to Finland to destroy Nigeria. Odumeje finally destroyed Nigeria with what he said regarding Biafra and all of that in his prayer. You will hear everything in this very video. Biafra screamed because they never expected it. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just wait to share it as you're watching it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just do well to click the red subscription button that is appearing on your video screen. Just click the subscribe button and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. Everywhere post few hours ago, Kasala post everywhere. Even Biafrans did not believe their eyes. They be doing the Finland convention for the liberation of Biafra. They be doing it for the past 4 days. Today marks the day 5, which is the final day of the convention. But Kasala post few hours ago, Biafrans did not even expect what they saw. Odumeje stormed Biafra in Finland, and they never expected to see Odumeje, and Odumeje finally destroyed Nigeria moment he made the closing prayer, and he said a lot of things in course of the closing prayer. Biafrans never expected what Odumeje actually said because they never knew that stuff like that can actually come from Odumeje, the Indaboski by Jose. Now, Kasala boss few hours ago. I will play you the full video now. You will see everything the way it goes. You will see what they actually say Trump will do for Biafra and all of that, because these people are on their agitation and they never going down, they never backing up on their agitation, even for the fact that Samanekwa wasn't present in course of the convention. And also some people said they actually protesting in Finland now for Samanekwa to be released by the Finland government and all of that. They said they need to release Samanekwa. They even protesting inside snow. You will see everything the way it goes. Now I say that's not enough. Biafra stormed everywhere and they made the convention to be a success. These people aren't joking. They aren't joking with the Biafra liberation and all of that. Now Kasala boss few hours ago as Odumeje scatter everywhere. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as you're watching it, just do well to share it. Click the share button, share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral, and if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Samanekwa himself did not expect the number of people that actually invaded the Finland convention, because a lot of people actually believed then that all hope was lost, because the moment they arrested Samanekwa, they were thinking that everything has finished, because Samanekwa announced the convention before they even arrested him, and nobody even expected that they will arrest Samanekwa at that very time. If they want to arrest Samanekwa, they would have arrested him before then, but they leave him from the beginning of this year, and it was when the convention was closed that they actually arrest him. Now a lot of people were saying that the Nigerian government are the mastermind behind the arrest of Samanekwa, because they never want the convention to hold, because they know the gravity of the convention. If the convention should hold, they know what it will actually cost, and the Nigerian government is actually doing everything possible to just stop all those things from happening. They arrested Samanekwa and thinking that the convention is not going to hold, but the convention hold. Even the number of people that Samanekwa was actually expecting in course of the convention, the number of people that came to participate, it times 4 the number of people that Samanekwa was even given the assurance that they will attend the convention. Thousands of people actually attended the convention, even when Samanekwa was expecting 500 people plus and all of that. Thousands of people invaded the convention. Even Biafrans did not even go to the convention alone. They went with different number of people from different nations around the world, because the number of Biafrans in the diaspora, the number is very alarming. They have a very high number of people staying in the diaspora among the Biafrans. Now they even brought their friend to the convention and they invaded everywhere. I say that is not enough. They brought some big names from international communities, from European Union, from American, from Asia, from different places. Now a man from US actually spoke in course of the convention as they rounding up the convention. He spoke about what Trump will actually do for them because of the convention and all of that, what Trump will do to Biafra. Now nobody ever never expected it. And the moment the man finishes his speech and all of that, come and see Odumeje in action. Nobody even expect the celebrities and the big names that actually attended the convention, even to the fact that the day one of the convention, according to the report, Rude Boy was in the day one, which is P Square. They were in the day one of the convention. They invaded the place. Even Saminakpa wasn't expected. Celebrities just expecting some number of people in the diaspora. Even Finnish people actually attend the convention and all of that. Even Finland government representative is actually present in the convention, and a lot of Finnish people were there too. And as if that's not enough, Kasala burst few hours ago, Odumeje scatter table. Oh, this man destroyed Nigeria. He made a clear revelation in course of the convention, and nobody even expected it. He said it during his prayer for Biafra as they doing the closing prayer and all of that. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this same thing that Odumeje said. Odumeje did not look at anybody's face. He spoiled everywhere. He shake table. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share the video as you're watching it, just share it, because I want to play the full video now and you will see everything the way it goes. And if you can't share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up. Let a lot of people get to know what is happening as far as Biafra activity is concerned at the moment. Just stay connected now. I'm playing you the service of Biafra now. You will see what the man said regarding Trump, what he said that Trump is going to do for Biafra and all of that. And as you listen to the man, you will see Odumeje entering the podium and what he said in his prayers, that scatter table, that shake table, he shaketalizes everywhere. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. This is a much more enthusiastic audience than I normally find in Washington, D.C. And I appreciate very much the opportunity to come. As you can imagine, for me, it's very unusual to be speaking about Nigeria in Laju, Finland. Only very recently did I have a chance to meet and to speak with your ministers and discuss your cause. And I'm very glad that Michael Rubin spoke to all of you. I have great respect for him, and he writes about liberty and freedom around the world regularly in Washington. I have visited Nigeria and have been incredibly impressed at the people that I have met. As I traveled across Nigeria, I found people who were entrepreneurial, who worked extraordinarily hard, who were people of faith, people who cared for their families, and people with extraordinary potential. Yet I found that they suffered under a government that did not live up to its responsibilities to protect them and to protect those opportunities for them, and a government that in many cases seemed to be working against them instead of for them. Now, Nigeria, as anyone who looks at would recognize, is extraordinarily important, not only for Africa, but to the world. It has the largest population and economy in Africa. Africa itself is a continent of extraordinary potential. A growing population when most of the rest of the world, including America, have declining populations. But we see vibrancy and growth in Africa. And Nigeria has so much to offer, not only, to Africans, but also to Americans and to people around the world. I have occasionally gotten into a taxi cab to go to the airport, and my driver, it turns out, came from Africa. And we will discuss where he or she came from and what their home was like. And what I am particularly concerned about, like Michael Rubin, is concerned about human rights, about religious liberty, about economic opportunity, all of which are fundamental for human people everywhere on earth. And despite problems in my country, and as all of you recognize, all countries have some problems, and I accept with my own as well, the United States has done generally pretty good at trying to protect those opportunities and those liberties, which is why we've drawn people from Nigeria to America. but you shouldn't have to leave your country to have those opportunities. To me, that is the great tragedy that we see in Nigeria today, and for Biafrans, is the belief that to be fully protected and have full opportunity, that they must leave and go somewhere else. Now, you are enriching countries around the world, and that, I think, is wonderful, bringing knowledge of Nigeria, of Biafra, of Africa to Finland, to Europe, and to America. But again, you shouldn't feel you have to leave your homes to do so. And that is something which other people, other countries around the world should support you as you demand that those opportunities be protected. And we all know the problems that have occurred in Africa, in Nigeria. I don't have to go through them, you have lived them. In terms of internal conflict and violence, of misrule and dictatorship, of corruption, of political misbehavior, even of the current government. But the problems, unfortunately, there was great hope when the dictatorship ended. But if one looks at Africa and looks at Nigeria today, one sees it getting worse, not better. And that is wrong. And that is a threat to you all. It's a threat to your families back in Nigeria, and it's a threat to everyone who lives in Biafra. I think that it's important here, it's vital that these opportunities not be lost. An area that I care especially about is religious liberty, and I write about that an awful lot. And that's an area that I have great concern in what I see in Nigeria today. That again, there's a long history here, which I don't need to tell you because you have lived it. But it's recognized by some in America, and I think this is an important issue to address the new administration on. Because Donald Trump does care about religious liberty. It's an issue during his first term that he was concerned about. He received very strong support from many religious people in America. And this is the kind of issue that you can use to talk to the incoming administration about the importance of liberty in Nigeria, and also in that context then raise the cause of Biafra. That is not something which many people write about. Michael Rubin was an exception. But this is an issue that you can use to educate Americans. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, which is an independent body that studies religious issues around the world, told us last year that freedom conditions in Nigeria remained extremely poor. Violence across Nigeria impacted freedom of religion or belief as the government failed to prevent attacks against faith-based organizations and worshipers, with some accusing it of actually fomenting those attacks. So this is recognized. This is recognized in Washington. And of course, these kinds of attacks harm all Nigerians everywhere in the country. But the attacks have been particularly focused on Christians. And that is something, again, that can be brought to the attention of the U.S. government, that this is a way to raise your cause. The challenge, I have to tell you, is today in Washington, every interest group and everyone is lined up hoping to get the attention of the new president who comes into office. So this will not be easy. So it's very important to find causes that this president and those around him care about. And I think that is going to be the biggest challenge for you all. It was obvious the Biden administration was not particularly concerned about these issues. Unfortunately, I wish it had been. I personally and my institute try to stay nonpartisan We want to speak to anyone who we can in Washington about policy and engage anyone who's willing to talk to us. But looking at the record of the Biden administration, it was far too willing to deal with the established government and seemed unconcerned about fundamental liberties like religious liberty, and was prepared to dismiss attacks on Christians throughout the country as being part of rural disputes and climate change and other things, when in fact we can understand the deep roots of religion that those attacks reflected, and the fact that there were virulent terrorist groups active in Nigeria, where at times the government and government security forces have seemed as willing to attack the citizens of Nigeria as to protect them from those terrorist threats. So this, I think, is an important issue to bring forward. It's also important to address the Trump administration when it's trying to think about future friends in Africa. That Biafra would be a friend of America. And you are certainly making that case, and you need to ask those you know in America to make that case in America as well. Because again, Donald Trump is, shall we say, a very unique person. That's not always perhaps to America's benefit, but I think in this case, it's actually very useful. Because Donald Trump is willing to break with the status quo. I do a lot of work on issues like North Korea, and I thought one of the brilliant steps that Donald Trump took was a willingness to meet with the leader of North Korea that no other U.S. president had ever done. So that is something that you can appeal to him on, that perhaps he could meet with the leader of Biafra. That he recognizes the importance of reaching out to people who his predecessors refused to have anything to do with. Donald Trump, maybe there is an opportunity. And I also think those around him, many of those who are coming in, share that willingness to challenge the status quo. And that is what you suffer from. And I will admit, when I first heard about what you were doing, I'm old enough, unfortunately, to remember the terrible war. I was young, but I still remember pictures on TV and pictures of starving children, the horrors that happened with that. And you all know that. I suspect almost all of you had people who suffered in that, friends and family who died and suffered, the horrors of that, which can never be repeated. But what the status quo in Washington then is, we don't talk about such things, right? We put them away in a closet somewhere, and we say that issue's finished, nothing to be done, please don't bother us, we have other things to do. And when you sit in Washington, I have to tell you, it's very tempting to it's kind of the ultimate imperial city, where American policymakers view themselves as kind of on top, and their job is to speak to the world and deliver their judgment. Now, I am not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell Nigerians or Africans what to do. I do not live your experience. I do not go through your experience. I have not suffered what you have suffered. I have not had the frustrations that you have had. So the last thing I would ever do is to try to tell you, as if I know better than you, what you should do. But I want to encourage you to speak out, because you can carry the message forward. And that message needs to go to Washington, D.C. And that message needs to go to the White House when there's a new president. It needs to go to the Congress. Now the U.S. Senate will be controlled by Republicans as well. There's a chance there. It needs to go to think tanks, which matter, people who spend a lot of time, they publish lots of stuff, they spend a lot of time thinking in theory, in meeting, but they need to hear your message, because today it's not a message that anyone really wants to talk about. But I think if you can get attention of the president, get attention of other leaders, this is an opportunity. And I want to encourage all of you, you have a cause that is just, a cause that is important. It is a cause that is compelling. And I think then nestle that within the larger argument. This is an administration, current one, where the president only now, as he is about a month and a half away from leaving office, decided to visit Africa. That apparently he looked at a map one day and said, oh, I guess I wasn't there. Now, we need, with the new administration, a president who comes in and says, I should go to Africa. I need to look at Africa. I need to understand Africa. And a good place for him to start is Nigeria. And if he starts, he should not start thinking of Abuja. He should start thinking about the people of Nigeria, wherever they live, and understanding how that government in Abuja and its security forces are not serving the people of Nigeria. Because the ultimate responsibility of any government is to protect your safety, is to protect your opportunities, to protect your freedom to worship and to live and to speak, and to protect a democratic future where you can choose your leaders freely and live in a free and democratic society. And that's not being done today by the government in Abuja. And Nigeria could lead Africa, but as I indicated, it looks like it's going in the wrong way. Well, a free Biafra could lead Nigeria. So I want you to encourage, take that message to Washington, that listening to you is an opportunity for the United States to help improve Africa and help Africa lead the world. Because as I indicated, again, you look around the world, virtually every country is shrinking. I mean, one can look at Europe, and much of Europe could theoretically disappear. I mean, the estimates on fertility rates, it's extraordinary. Even at China, by the end of the century, people talk about a China being maybe 400 million people rather than 1.4 billion. Africa continues to have vitality. Africa continues to have life, and for the future can show the way. And that is a very good reason for the United States to have a president start with a visit to Africa, not end with a visit to Africa. To turn it around and say, I'm starting with the future. I'm starting with the possibilities. I'm starting with the opportunities. And again, a good place to start, if that's your policy, is Biafra. So let me, as I indicated, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But it looks to me like you know what you want to do. And I want to commend you, again, for your enthusiasm, for your willingness to gather here, for your willingness you've chosen leaders, you're pushing referendum, you're taking steps to make this vision, this dream into a reality. And I just want to encourage you on that journey. This is your journey, not mine. It's not Donald Trump's journey. It's not an America's journey. Unfortunately, the United States has pushed a lot of people on journeys that didn't work out. But if you start on the journey and you are making the journey happen, then you can come to America and say, help us. So I want to conclude with a vision of a democratic and prosperous African continent, a democratic and prosperous Nigeria, and a democratic and prosperous Biafra. This is up to you to turn that kind of a vision into a reality. And I'm so happy again to see so much enthusiasm and a willingness to gather and to push this vision. And I want to thank you for inviting me to come to speak to you. Because I have to tell you, as someone who's been involved in American politics for a very long time, and has grown a little tired and a little cynical about American politics, I find this energizing and for me to go back to America. So thank you, Godspeed, and have a blessed new year. Thank you.
No matter how the fight is, the tough men are not shaking. We are ready for fight. Falling down of Nigeria. Nigeria, I am not a man of story. I was in the loom of Santu Sanatoria discussing with the heavenly host. I saw Nigeria fall. I saw Nigeria fall.
Don't speak against the people that talking about Biafra, and don't speak against that man. Now the don't. It's not easy. If people has find a way to kill that guy, therefore do it. But the Lord never allowed the truth to be destroyed. Appreciate him. None carries a hero. Appreciate him. I will always speak to you. Why? Because your destiny did not lie in the hands of any man. Your destiny lies in the hands of the Lord. I can never pretend to not to save people. No, I can never pretend to not to tell the truth. It's impossible. Today, many people are recognizing that we are good people. But before many see us as a bad people, evil people. Wickedness and greediness. We are not. We are the development of nation.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that was said in this very video. You know, a lot of international unions have been partnering with Biafrans since when they started the convention. These people, I don't really know where Biafrans actually see the connections that they actually have in the European Union, in the American sector, in the Asian sector, and all of that. They made a lot of connections, and this connection is actually working for these people at the moment. Though, according to the report reaching out on media, they said some Biafrans are actually against some Biafrans. You know, some Biafrans are saying that they did not know Simon Ekpa from anywhere. While some Biafrans are saying that it is only Simon Ekpa that they know. Some are saying they know Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi KANU, but some are saying that they are not interested in the liberation of Biafra from Simon Ekpa. Though they want the liberation of Biafra, but they said the way and manner to which Simon Ekpa is actually handling the stuff, they said it is unfair. Now, the Biafrans have been divided into two. According to report now, they said they have been divided into two. Some are saying in the eastern part of Nigeria, in Nigeria, they said Biafran that are doing their convention in the Finland and all of that, they said they are not real Biafrans. They said they are fake Biafrans. Why? They said they that are in Nigeria, they are the real Biafrans, and they're not ready for any convention, that the convention is just fake, that the convention is nothing to write home about, that the convention is not going to amount to anything. That's what some Biafrans are even saying in Nigeria now, and it is not even coming from Hausa or Fulani or Yoruba. It's coming from Biafrans themselves. They said the convention that is ongoing in Finland at the moment, they said they're not interested in the convention and all of that, that the convention is fake. And even to the extent that some Biafrans in Nigeria now, they are now started amassing flags of Biafrans everywhere. They're putting the flags of Biafrans on different electric poles, on different transformers, and they're now saying that the liberation of Biafran is here and all of that. That's what they're saying. And I say that's not enough. The Finland convention is entering into another level. Now, you can hear what the Finnish government actually said regarding everything. Now, some people are actually protesting that Simon Ekpa must be released, and they were even protesting in snow. I saw the video circulating on media where some Biafrans and some people are actually protesting inside snow. They said the arrest of Simon Ekpa must be cancelled with immediate effect, that Simon Ekpa must be released, because according to a report, they actually adjourned the trial of Simon Ekpa till May 2025, and that is what they're saying. And by so doing, they will keep him in custody, and that is why a lot of Biafrans are actually against. They said they don't want Simon Ekpa to be engaging in the custody till May 2025. They said he must be released with immediate effect, and by so doing, they want Simon Ekpa to be out, and they're protesting at the moment. Now, some Biafrans are doing the convention, and they're not relenting as far as the convention thing is concerned. They brought a lot of big names in the international communities, and they brought them to make some promises. I don't know where they send the connection from to bring big names, our representative of America, representative of UK, representative of Finland themselves. They brought them to the Biafran convention, and those people actually promised Biafran a lot of things. They promised Biafran a lot of things, and as the fact remains now, they said if Biafran is totally liberated, they're going to be partnering with Biafran, and based on business, they believe so well that Biafrans are very good in business and all of that, and they're very good producer of stores, and they are good marketers as well. So they said they're even going to partner with Biafran, and they will make Biafran to be like a small Dubai and all of that. That's what they're actually saying. I show you the video in many of my videos that we released some days ago and all of that. You can share part to the video and see everything that these people actually promised Biafra, and you can hear what the man that was speaking for Trump, what he said regarding what Trump will do for Biafra and all of that. All these things are there. They are media now. They said Biafrans are now being recognized in different places in the world now. Kasala boss moment Odumeje man the podium, and you can see everything the way it goes. He said he saw a revelation that Nigeria is falling, and the fact remains, it is not even Odumeje that is the first person or the first prophet or the first pastor even in Nigeria that comes out to talk about the separation of Biafra or the fall of Nigeria and all of that, because if Biafra should successfully separate, Nigeria will eventually fall, because the moment Biafra actually separate, Yoruba will want to go, because Yoruba will not want to be with Fulanis, because nobody is even in line with the Fulanis at the moment. Nobody even like the Fulanis. Even the Hausas that the Fulanis are even staying with, they are even complaining about the relationship with the Fulanis, what the Fulanis are doing, because a lot of people are now saying the Fulanis are terrorists now, because they've terrorized a lot of villages as far as Nigeria is concerned, and nothing is being done about it. And that is even the reason why Biafrans are saying they want to separate, and even Yorubas, they're saying they want to separate because they believe that the Fulanis go to their farms, they rape their women, they poof their men, and they do all sorts of things, and by so doing, it's causing a lot of food insecurity in Nigeria and all of that, and inflation is everywhere now. Kasala boss moment Odumeje opened his mouth and made it known to the general general public that he saw Nigeria falling. That's to tell you that this man really say, because he have made a lot of prophecies in time past and those prophecies actually come true. Now he's saying this again, that he saw Nigeria falling and all of that. Do you really think that with the liberation of Biafra convention that is ongoing in Finland, do you think what Odumeje is actually talking about, that Nigeria is falling and you saw Nigeria falling, do you think is because maybe due to the convention that is ongoing, Biafra will be liberated from Nigeria and all of that? Do you think that's the reason why Odumeje said Nigeria is falling and he saw it is coming and all of that? Now drop your opinion in the comment section of this video. He said nobody should joke with Unadekanu, nobody should mock Unadekanu, that man is a good man and all of that. He said manner of good thing regarding Unadekanu, that Unadekanu must be released and nobody should mock him, nobody should joke with him, and nobody should insult Unadekanu, all of that. Now drop your opinion in the comment section of this video, as I'm gonna dedicate and that minute for you, and share follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass me, corrupt leader, why you with the for church?